What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel. So, yesterday we dropped a video sharing some information about what's going on with My Jewelers Club. Now, I started to get emails and comments as early as this past Friday about My Jewelers Club dropping off of people's TransUnion credit reports. Now, this is in addition to a lot of the other news we started to hear lately with some of these vendor type of store accounts or jewelry trade line types of accounts starting to drop off of people's credit reports. You had Hutton Chase, AG Jewelers, Ligos, and now My Jewelers Club. And I think also some people reported that Kickoff started to drop off as well. But you're going to see this trend. So it's not just going to stop here. And overall, what's going on is that the credit reporting agencies are tightening up in terms of the type of data that's being furnished to the credit reporting agencies. Now, the reason why they're being a little bit more stringent on these types of accounts is because these types of accounts don't undergo a normal underwriting process, meaning that most people who are signing up for these accounts will pay a membership fee, and then that particular account is being added to their credit report. Now, the problem with this is that this inflates people's credit profiles, because essentially what's happening is these companies are basically selling data. Even though it's a product or a service that they're offering, the real product that people are coming to these companies for is to have that trade line. Let's be honest, like most of these companies, you're not looking to buy their jewelry, their overpriced jewelry. You're looking to get that account being reported. And that's the big issue that the credit reporting agencies are having with these companies, is that they're becoming a lot more popular with people to add these accounts to bring up and inflate their credit profile. So you're going to see a lot more of this. I don't think this is the end of it, but a couple things that I do want to say. So we got a lot of engagement from that video. I was just reading through the comment sections, and one of the comments I wanted to address was, people saying that our channel constantly promotes these types of accounts, when that's not the case, right? We've never done a review on My Jewelers Club. Yesterday was the first time I ever did a video dedicated to discussing My Jewelers Club. We've never done a video on Fingerhut or New Coast Direct or any of these other types of accounts. Now, we did reviews on AG Jewelers and Ligos, but those accounts were brought to my attention from subscribers, requesting that we do a review on these types of accounts. So all the videos that we put out there are for informational purposes only. We're not telling you to sign up. Now, I know a lot of people are upset that AG is no longer reporting, but we're not telling you to sign up. We're just providing this information for informational purposes only. We've always advocated bank issued accounts, right? We put a lot of people on to a lot of these other institutions, whether that's fintech organizations, credit unions, right? So let's start with the credit unions, right? AOD FCU, NIH FCU, DCU, First Tech, Andrews, right? We put up people onto a lot of these other bank issue types of accounts. So you can't sit there and say that we're promoting and campaigning for these other types of accounts. I've never had those types of accounts on my credit profile. I got it out the mud using the foundational types of accounts: secured credit cards, shared secured loans, credit builder loans. I didn't get to this by using My Jewelers Club and some of these other types of shortcut type of trade lines, right? And one thing you have to remember, a $5,000 My Jewelers Club trade line does not hold the same weight as a bank issued account. And that's one thing you have to understand. We've always done videos on bank issue types of accounts, right? The top secure credit cards that graduate, the best credit cards for fair credit, the best business credit cards that don't do a hard credit check. So, don't mix us up with other YouTubers, because I know there's a lot of other YouTubers who that's all they really focus on, or all they might talk about is a couple of institutions, Navy Federal, and that's it. We cover a wide variety of different bank issue types of accounts, fintechs, community development financial institutions, minority depository institutions. So, and if you've been following our channel for a while, that's not what we focus on. Our core research is not on these types of trade lines, right? We're trying to identify financial institutions, bank issue types of credit accounts that you can use to help grow and scale your business or build your credit with. So we're all about giving you access to bank issue credit, right? Providing that type of information. Over the past year, our information alone has resulted in tens of millions of dollars in bank issued credit approvals. So don't come at us saying that we're promoting these types of trade lines. That's never been the game plan. And I always say that bank issued is going to hold more weight. It's not always about the quick and easy credit. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to hear about secured credit cards or credit builder loans or shared secured loans because it takes time. But the real key to it is building these banking relationships. When you sign up for My Jewelers Club, that's not a bank. So you're not really building a relationship with a bank. It's a trade line, but as I stated, going forward, a lot of lenders are discounting those types of accounts. So the best way to go about building credit is organically building banking relationship. Yes, it takes time. No, it's not an overnight thing. But if you have the patience, then you're not going to have to worry about whether My Jewelers Club or one of these other types of accounts stop reporting, because the bank issued accounts are never going to stop reporting as long as you keep that account in good standing. So that's the best way to go about it. I know it's not what people want to hear because patience is one of the biggest obstacles when it comes to building credit. Credit takes time. Building a financial reputation takes time. So this idea of shortcuts and AUs and trade lines, I know that appeals because it's thought of as being, a quick way, but it's really an artificial, inflating of your credit worthiness. It's not the same as having a bank issued account where you're going through some type of underwriting process. Just understand that. So again, the best way is to go about things organically. So I'll start dropping some more videos about building bank issue types of accounts because that's the best way to go. That's how I was able to get up to $500,000 in available credit, by building out banking relationships, not by using My Jewelers Club, not by using Hutton Chase or any of these other types of accounts. And I've always said that you can go back to our early videos. We were never promoting that to begin with. We gave you the fintechs, we gave you the credit unions, we gave you the different types of banks and CDFIs. So it's not all about the trade lines, right? Focus on building your banking relationships, and these types of accounts won't even matter if they stop reporting. Another thing I wanted to address is this idea that there's some type of collusion or conspiracy to keep certain groups of people down when it comes to having access to credit. I know a lot of people are getting into trade lines nowadays, but as I was saying, trade lines is old news. If you're getting into trade lines now, the game's already changing. But this whole idea that there's a whole big conspiracy to hold African American Black people down, I just don't agree with that idea or subscribe to that mindset because, again, when I started out building credit, right, I had terrible credit. I couldn't even finance a vehicle. But what I did was it took me years to build up my credit through trial and error using bank issued accounts. And then I was able to elevate, my financial circumstances by understanding credit. And a lot of that was through trial and error. So over this journey, which has been, I would say, the better part of about 7 years, I was able to accumulate a lot of data points. And then the whole reason why I started this YouTube channel was to share that information, because one day I sat back and I was like, wow, I remember when I can only rent rooms off Craigslist because my credit was so bad. I couldn't even finance a vehicle. But then I went through this journey of, primary data points and experience, and I decided to package all that information up and share with you. And so I went from a $20 a week budget, where I basically lived off of that, to where I am now. I live in a $500,000 house in a great neighborhood. So I was able to do that by building up and leveraging credit, right? I was able to leverage credit to build multiple six-figure businesses. I was able to leverage credit to get access to close to $500,000 in available credit. And I'm Black and I'm African American. So there's really no excuses, right? All it is a blueprint and a formula and a sequence of steps that you could follow to get the same result. So if I'm able to do it, so is everyone else. And that's the real goal and the mission of this particular channel, is to empower you guys with information. And again, the best way of doing this is through bank issued accounts, building banking relationships. I always talk about that. relationship banking. And the reason why I know that's the real secret, it's not the trade lines, it's not the AUs, it's banking relationship banking. So when you're able to build banking relationships, getting access to credit and funding is going to be a lot easier. But the problem is that, it's not a quick process. So that's just one thing you're going to have to get in your head. This whole credit journey is not an overnight thing. That's what you have to understand. And again, the trade lines, that's outdated. I wouldn't even really focus on that going forward. Just build up organically, right? There's still a lot of entry level bank issue types of accounts that you could build up to and then move on to the next level. Because one thing about, let's say, secure credit cards, right? And I'm a huge fan of secure credit cards. Anyone who's been following this channel for a long time know that I am biased towards secure credit cards. I know it's something that people don't want to hear because the whole idea of putting up your own money. But here's one thing about the secure credit cards, shared secure loans, is that when you bring money to a table, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money, it could be $200, right? First of all, that's your foot in the door with the financial institution. You build up data, you demonstrate that you're a responsible customer, a reliable borrower, and then you can expand your relationship within. You're just building upon that foundation, and then after a while, it gets easier, right? For me, reaching my first $100,000 in available credit, it probably took about 5 years to get to that point. But then the next 400 was all had within, a 2 year period. So there's different levels to the credit game. And I feel like sometimes, we feel pressure to get to it so quickly that, we're ignoring some of these fundamental, foundational credit building activities. And that's one thing you really have to focus. There's really no shortcuts in this space. Relationship banking is the real key. And it's all about building those bank issue types of accounts. And it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, anyone can do it. Because at the end of the day, the data, right, your credit profile, it doesn't say what race you are, what gender you are. So I don't buy the excuse that it's holding down black people by changing the methods and the techniques. I'm just not going to subscribe to that because I'm basically an example of someone who started from the bottom and was able to get to where I'm at. And so that's all I really wanted to share in today's video. Let me know your comments and questions down below. And until next time, take it easy and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.